Welcome, welcome. 4th and 9 and victory. Appreciate everyone hopping in and joining. Young Tiny, what's good, loved one? In your words, fight on, fight on. Man, we're here for our Thursday night live. It's your
Right.
boy, Fight On Christian.
And your boy B Jinx, man, we back at it again.
Back on it again, man. Lots been going on. Well, not a lot's been going on, but as we all know, finally got the defensive coordinator. Uh, we did have a commitment. I believe it's a preferred walk-on, right? From Division III, linebacker,
Yeah,
about
linebacker.
6'1", 210. Yeah, I'm interested to see. I seen a little bit of shout out to Guns over at Light the Torch. I sent us some footage in our group chat. Looks like for a linebacker, he was covering out in space a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Good tackler, has some speed. I'm interested to see if they play him at their star position or moving to safety, especially with only being, 210 pounds. But I mean, I know it's Division III. He did look good on there. So that's an update on that. But today we want to talk about our new defense coordinator, right? Gary Patterson, his 4-2-5 defense, right? We ran 4-2-5 last year with, last couple of years with Deontay Lynn. So we want to just kind of look at the difference between that. Again, this is no knock on Lynn or anything. It's just so we can educate ourselves and also the USC community on the differences in the 4-2-5 and schematic, kind of what we expect to see, right? Again, what we expect to see might not be what we see from Gary Patterson's press conference. He said he's adapted, right? And he's taken from what other people are doing, in the 4-2-5, they're doing some unique things that he might sprinkle some of that in there. But we're going to talk about, his normal 4-2-5, he created, made popular over with TCU. I'm pretty sure there are going to be some wrinkles in there. B, did you have a chance to check out his press conference?
I caught some of it, the vast majority of it. Before we get started into it, shout out to Light the Torch podcast. B Jones and Guns.
Yeah, B Jones and Guns in the house. USC Q-Band, fight on.
Yeah, appreciate you for showing up for the live. Yeah, what stuck out to me was, of course, you would want to hear any DC say that, competition is going to be here. That's what's going to make us better. I'm glad that, he's coming in. Everybody's given a clean slate. There's no favorites in the room. We talk about his Hall of Fame career. He has experience running it. What's most important is the head coaching experience he has, which is going to help Riley and his staff, not just the defense, but the overall collective team get better. So that's what I'm most, excited about seeing. So, shout out to Gil Ruiz. Appreciate you joining live. So yeah, it's the competition factor for me. With competition, of course,
I love it.
Well,
that he was saying that young players got to grow up.
Right.
He mentioned how talented the class that we got coming in, and so expect to see if they're producing in the spring and fall camp and all that, that young players are see the field. So that's good to know that, like you said, it's open competition, right? The best players get out on the field. He mentioned a few times that at TCU he didn't have this luxury. He didn't have 4 and 5 stars, and 3-star. So he was saying he's never been in a situation where he had this much talented, players. And so he did great things with not having the 4 and 5 stars, right? He was saying at TCU, they had to be aggressive, right, to get pressure and stuff. They had to blitz and stuff a lot like that. He kept mentioning how big our defensive line is and what a luxury is, like I was saying all year, right? If you can get pressure and stop the run with 4, all the different things you can do in the back end.
Chris,
what it's going to come down to is, can our front 4 do it, though, right?
Right.
If not, he's going to have to be aggressive and blitz and all that. So we'll see what the season start. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see the aggression, man. A lot of times, when we were up on the Lynn, again, like you said in the beginning, this is no knock on Lynn. A lot of times we didn't get really aggressive or exotic until the second half, or at least they didn't start playing into the second half. We played, passive on the outside, on the boundary, at the boundary corners. You saw a lot of 8, 9 yards off, and then them bailing, and then the receiver. The only thing he had to do was what, run right beyond the sticks and then turn around. There, here's another first down. So I just want to see us get aggressive. I want to see what he can do. I want to see what Gary Patterson can do with that size along the defensive line. And with that, like you said, if we can get pressure with 4, that's great. But I want to see our cornerbacks in a position to where they're forced to go up and play that man-to-man on the outside.
Well, man, it's good you said that. That's going to be a good segue, right? We about to talk about that. Exactly what you just said about playing off, and that has a lot to do with the scheme, right? Both run the 4-2-5, but there's different variations and different philosophies behind the 4-2-5. So it's a good thing you said that. Keep that in your bank your memory bank as they come up. Before we get to it, we're about to hop right into it. Shout out to Leon. You guys make sure you guys all know Leon. He's our third compadre. He gives a lot to this channel. We appreciate our guy. You see his name down there, Tough Style. He actually has a channel that he started as well. It's about cycling. Man, the man go out there and ride the bike for 3 and 4 hours, man. I mean, cross country. He's a soldier. I heard him on USCJ show about how good of a college football player his dad was, and his dad's an Ohio State fan. We're not gonna blame him on it, but now I see why he ride that bike that long. He got the genetics. He got the genes.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So let's get right into it. So again, this is not a knock on Lynn or anything like that, right? What we wanted to do is discuss the 4-2-5, the different schematics and different philosophies behind the 4-2-5, right? There's a lot of variations. Gary Patterson gets credited with being the leader of what's going on, B-Mac, Big B. Did he change his name?
It's been B-Mac. He probably did. I'm not sure.
Okay. But there's a lot of different variations, right? Patterson is, credited with creating the 4-2-5. He initially did it, right, playing in the Big 12. Everybody at the time was going to these spread, up-pace offenses, right? This is his way of combating it. Before we get into the difference between Lynn's and Patterson's 4-2-5, there's even more variations of the 4-2-5 out there, right? We all know Bud Foster. His 4-2-5 was an attack defense. It was popularized at Virginia Tech. It's famous for its aggressive bear front and commitment to man coverage, right? It uses a spill philosophy where defensive ends bend down the line to force run plays towards speedier second-level defenders. Jim Knowles, which was the Ohio State coordinator, they still utilize the 4-2-5 now. They emphasize the Gretzky philosophy, right, where players don't run to where the ball is, but where it's going to be, right? So if you're running a counter instead of going to the ball, they're going to run to those angles and slants to where you're going, right? It features a unique Leo, which is a hybrid defensive end linebacker, and a highly interchangeable secondary that keeps offenses guessing. Kane Womack, his 4-2-5 is a swarm defense. He's the defensive coordinator at Alabama. It focuses on high percentage pressure and utilize specific motion check to handle modern tempos and spread offenses. Joe Rotze, he run a pro style 4-2-5. He was at Minnesota, Michigan State. His 4-2-5, he runs a lot of the Tampa 2. We all know Tampa 2 is when your middle linebacker is running down the middle of the field. Tampa Bay Buccaneers made that very popular. That's why it's called the Tampa 2, right? Your safety still have their half, but you got a middle linebacker that's getting depth, running down the middle of the field. He run a coverage, a Tampa 2 coverage principle. It prioritizes reducing scoring averages through elite gap control and tackling rather than exotic blitzing. John Heacock, he runs that 3-high hybrid 4-2-5. He runs a lot of 3-2-5 at Iowa State. I'm surprised he didn't go to Penn State as well, but he frequently blends the 4-2-5 principles. That's coming with that 3-high safety shell. It allows the middle safety to play high and support the run from depth, right? So when that, you got to have a safety who can come downhill, read and react, right? So let's get into the differences between Gary Patterson and Deontay Lynn's 4-2-5 defense, right? They both run 4-2-5. But Gary Patterson uses a split field system, and we'll go a little more into that as we go, that separate the front six from the secondary with independent calls, where Lynn's approach focused on physical NFL style principles and modern coverage flexibility. Looking at the schematic differences in communication, again, Gary Patterson is the split field approach. He used separate calls from the front six and the secondary, and can even split the secondary calls in half, boundary plus field. So a lot of times, Gary Patterson can run man on one side and have zone on the other side of the field, right? So kind of
Right.
confuses the quarterback, reading left to right, right to left, whatever the offensive play call is, whatever your first read is going through your reads. You looking on one side, you seeing man, you going to the other side, you expecting to see man, but they're in zone, can really confuse the quarterback. Deontay Lynn's communication for his 4.25 was a unified NFL logic, employs an integrated system more common in pro schemes, emphasizing gap discipline and unified defensive communication. That's why he used to always say obnoxious communication. Remember, that was one of the first big things he was saying when you
Right.
get there, over communicate. Again, so when you don't have gap discipline, which we see in this season, and you're not communicating, you get what you get, right? That's the whole philosophy based on his defense. And for whatever reason, we didn't do it well this year.
So, Chris, let me ask you a question. In a situation like this, who would you give that green dot to?
What said again on what team? I mean, like, what are we
On
talking about?
defense, who would you give the green dot to? Green dot
Coming up for
being,
this year?
yeah. I mean, which position would you give it to? The safeties? Who would you give it to?
I wouldn't give it to a position group. I'll give it to the person who understands the scheme the best, right? If it's a linebacker, then a linebacker. If it's a safety, it's whoever I feel comfortable with that can get everybody lined up and know the scheme down pat.
Well, the reason why I said that is because if you notice during the season, we had trouble when the safety, and I won't say it's Kamara Ramsey, he had to move to the nickel, calling in the place for the safety, right? For the safeties, right? Now, when he was in the safety position, he didn't have that problem. He could see the entire field instead of having to look back. So
Well,
that's why.
Desmond Stevens had it for the first part of it.
Okay,
Theoretically, you would like it to be a linebacker or safety, because your safety don't have to turn around and
right.
communicate to everybody. Everybody's in front of them. But again, I'll give it to the person that understands the defense the most and that I trust with the communication to get it in. So who's that coach on the field? Okay. There's schematic differences, secondary personnel. Gary Patterson goes with a three safety system, right? It features a unique strong safety, a nickel free safety, and a weak safety. Well, we're going to change that name. It was a horn V at TCU, but he uses it to create diverse coverage angles. Lynn's secondary personnel position was Pacific DBs, typically utilizing a standard nickel, safeties and corner, prioritizing physicality and size to suppress big plays in space. That's why Lynn liked it to recruit the bigger corners, right? We was always looking for those 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" corners. He had a UCLA, one at USC as well. Now the coverage logic. Gary Patterson is pattern matching, right? Notorious for hybrid man zone coverage that is often decided after the snap based on the offensive routes, right? So those those DBs got to be thinking, because you can go from man or zone depending on what routes they're running, right? So
Right.
they definitely got to be on it. So for Lynn, his coverage logic was multiple modern coverages, relies on a variety of looks, often adapting to the specific threats of a conference opponent while focusing on reducing points per game, right? So that's why a lot of times we were crying, and why do we don't have these corners playing up? Why are we playing that bend but don't break? Because his coverage logic was to reduce points, right? So it's work your way down the field to see if you don't make a mistake, see if we can't turn you over, see if you don't get behind the sticks for a penalty or whatnot. The only problem with that is when you can't stop the run and teams can get 5 yards of carry on the run and they're getting 7 yards of carry, 7 yards
Right.
on the pass.
Right.
Yeah, you're never going to get off the field, right? All right, so philosophical, I can't even say the word. Philosophical goal,
There you go.
multiplicity through simplicity is Gary Patterson. He uses individual moving parts that are simple for players, but are confusing for quarterbacks pre-snap. That's good to confuse quarterbacks pre-snap. And then as we've seen, his covering logic is based on whatever routes they run, it might switch from man to zone depending on the routes. So it creates a lot of confusion with the quarterbacks. And if quarterbacks have to sit back there and think or hold the ball or delay, that means what? Your pass rushers, that give them more time to get there.
Right.
Deonta Lynn is physicality and development. He prioritized improving the strength of the program and trench size to make the unit more stout against physical teams. That's just a little bit of differences. This is what we were talking about. What's going on, Call to Sports? My God, shout out to you. So Gary Patterson split philosophy, right? Patterson is considered the pioneer of the 4-2-5. He bases his system on the 5-spoke secondary. This allows the defense to play man coverage on one side of the field and zone on the other simultaneously. His defense is designed to be multiple without being complex for the players. So the defense is going to be simplified, right? Focusing on creating an 8-man front. This is what I like, to stop the run while maintaining speed and
hey, how did I know you were going to say that? Hey, Chris, how did I know you were going to say
that? I think all USC fans is that's focused on stop the run, right?
Right.
Deonta Lynn's approach, Lynn's system, which he ran at UCLA and us, now he's going to be doing it at Penn State, is noted for its ability to lower scorer averages by emphasizing better tackling and gap control. While Patterson often converted smaller athlete to hybrid positions, Lynn's tenure at USC was marked by a shift toward recruiting larger defensive linemen and edge rushers to win in the trenches. This is one thing that I guess we can focus on about the Lynn's defense now that we broke it down and the philosophy behind it and why we struggle, right? Because it's emphasized on gap integrity and tackling. And when that's not being done, you get the results that we get, right? So we understand what the approach is and what the thought process is and what the defense is built around on. Mm-hmm. So at some point, would you have changed that philosophy?
You talking about for Lynn?
If you got midseason for game 4 and 5 and you seen that it wasn't working, was it time to not stick to the same philosophy and try to adapt to your team?
Well, I didn't expect for Lynn to change up anything mid-season because you got to remember his thing was, okay, we're gonna I guess gauge how everything was running in the first half, and a lot of times we did look better in the second half, with the exception of 2 games. I have to be honest, we looked better in the second half. The only games that really got away from us, on the ground in the second half was the Notre Dame game, and and some of that Oregon game. The rest of those games, we were pretty much in it. It just took us too long to adapt. That whole, we didn't expect for them to come out and be.
You said a Notre Dame game, Illinois too. Illinois ran all over us all game.
Yeah, but we were still in that game. The only games that got away from us was that Notre Dame game and that Oregon game. That's what I was saying. The only games that got away from us. Even with Illinois running on us the way that we did, guess what? We had the opportunity to beat them. I mean, they kicked the field goal. They kicked the field goal to win. That Notre Dame game and that Oregon game, what we lose by 10, 15 points. So we're still looking at a potential 10-2 season. That's why I was saying that. So I don't know why he didn't make an attempt to even change up, go low. A lot of times, during the season, we were begging for him to go what? Box heavy, right? We got to do something to slow this down and trust the DBs to man up on the outside. Right. Bring the corners up and man up on the outside. Why? Because you want to bump the receiver, throw him off his timing. And if you send in that pressure at that quarterback and the receiver's not in a place where he's supposed to be at, chances are the quarterback gonna do what? Be more apt to hold the ball. So that's why I'm thinking that he really didn't trust his corners. You got to remember, D. Nick, he was pretty good, but he was kind of teetering between was it Conley and Williams at the beginning of the season until Williams finally stepped up. But I think he just didn't trust the corners is the reason why he didn't do it, as opposed to, okay, I know my D line can generate some kind of pressure, but I don't want to get burned over the top. But what my motto is: I'd rather you kill me fast than kill me slow. At least if you beat me over the top, I got a chance in Riley to come back down and get us into the end zone.
I think he just ran his defense, right? We just looked at the concepts and philosophy of his defense and what it's built on, right? It's not what we was crying for. Sell out, stop the run. That's not his defense is about minimizing points, right? It's not like teams were putting up 40 points and all that. That's why he was playing, the bend but don't break. That's the philosophy of his 4-2-5 of his scheme, right? It's not an aggressive 4-2-5. It's a more containment. Let you drive down the field and make a mistake, and we'll get off. We'll get off the field, right? It's about tackling, gap integrity, and that's two things that we struggle with this season, which is strange when that's the philosophy and the scheme of the defense. You know what I mean? That's what really sticks out in the goal of the defense. All right, let's get into it.
But before you move on, we also had a lot of people that pointed out some other factors playing, the D line out of position. A lot of times we saw our defensive line getting pushed back, right? We talking about guys that may not have been intended to play on the inside, but maybe he didn't have any trust in anybody else. So maybe, that influences decision as well.
Yeah, I feel like when it came to the players and like Ramsey not playing safety, Tompkins playing on the inside, I feel like he felt those guys moving to those positions gave the defense a better chance to succeed.
Wasn't the other kid that transferred played on the inside too? It should have been on the outside. What's his name? The defensive lineman, the one that went to Alabama. And what's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Went to Tompkins.
Tompkins, yeah, Devin Tompkins.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Tompkins and Ramsey.
Oh, I thought you said Fountain and Ramsey.
No.
Okay.
All right, first down. And again, we don't have any inside scoop or anything, right? It's just a Google search to see how many teams don't have a full schedule right now. We know that we're supposed to be playing an FBS scoop for week 0. And so these were, some of the teams that still have availability on their schedule, which is Boise State, Texas State, Utah State, Washington State, Colorado State, Oregon State, San Diego State. Don't know if we're talking to any of them or anything like that. But out of the possible options for week 0, V, who do you want to see our defense face week 0 and why?
Week 0?
I think I know.
Well, here's my conjecture.
You guys put in the chat who you guys want to see us our defense face week 0 out of the possible options.
I wouldn't mind getting back into an old Pac-12 fold, but I don't want it to be a situation to where, okay, we play a home and home with them. I don't want to have to see us go up to Washington State or Oregon State. So that's why I'm not picking them. I'm going to say Colorado State. I would like to see us play a team like Colorado State in that first game.
You got me. You got.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
I thought you was gonna say Texas State and say the SEC do it, play the easiest team. We should do it too.
So you pick Colorado State too?
No. I thought I predicted that you was gonna say Texas
okay,
State.
I got you. Appreciate you showing up. USC. What's that? Q band. Appreciate you. Now let me take a guess at who you got.
Who you think I was gonna
say? San Diego State.
You said San Diego State?
Yeah.
Nope. I was gonna say Boise State.
Hey, look at my first choice on your phone. Look at my first choice.
You said Boise State?
Yeah, look at my first choice. And the reason why I said San Diego State because you're from the San Diego area. That's why I switched it. But look at the first choice on my phone on your phone.
Okay. Yeah. The reason Carter say Texas State. I like their program. I might want to temper with their roster. The reason I say the reason I say is because if we were saying what team we want to face, I would have said San Diego State, but it's out of the possible options for week 0. Who do you want to see our defense face for week 0? And the reason I said Boise State is because out of all these teams, Boise State is a team that's going to run the ball, and I want to see I want to see early in week 0 against a decent opponent what we look like against the rush.
I like the gradual increase in competition because it gives us a chance, opportunity to watch who's going to look good with whom out there on that field. When you start off with a team like a Colorado State, then you move to a Fresno State or maybe even Louisiana. It also gives Riley a sense of what receiver is going to work with Jay Miles. You got to remember, he's only got really one receiver coming back that has any playing experience with him. That's Tanook Hines. So we break it.
Yeah, but we talking about what team in week 0 you want to see your defense play.
Yeah, I got that.
If we were saying overall team, I would have a different one. But as far as defense, our biggest issue is we can't stop the run, and we'll find out real early if our rush defense issues are fixed if we play Boise State.
That makes sense. Now that you put it that way, if we're just focusing strictly on defense, that makes sense. Put a Boise State, but I wouldn't put Boise State first. I would put like a Louisiana first, and then
we can't now.
Boise State. Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Yeah, we can't now. But even if we was going to do a gradual thing, Texas State and Utah State will be the only gradual to Louisiana because Washington State, San Diego State, Oregon State, Colorado State, but all them better than Louisiana. You know what I mean? So
let me ask you a question. Why not a Pac-12 school?
Washington State like to throw the ball around.
What about Oregon State?
The same thing. They're not the same since they're coaching up. They don't run the ball like that. Boise State gonna be the team that lined up and try to run the ball down. You know what I'm saying? And go power and heavy. They're gonna give us Big Ten play. The closest thing to Big Ten play.
Coach, right? Oregon State got a new coach, right?
Yeah,
they did.
Yep, they did. A guy from Alabama, I believe.
So you best believe they're gonna run the ball. I think it's the DB coach. Yeah, it was DB coach from Alabama. So you best believe they're gonna run that ball.
All right. Going on to second down. Your USC defensive breakout player for 26. Who you got?
We'll let you go first on this one. I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
I'm going with the two freshmen, man. Our boy Carter and Josh, they've sold me. I've Carter said he won't see us run Navy. Man, I don't know if we want that triple option all game. Hey, when that's the only, you know what? A lot of teams struggle with Navy because nobody runs the triple option no more, really, but the Naval Academy. So that's like the first time they see it all season. It's hard to prepare for in a week, man, especially with getting cut at the knees. But I'm going with a freshman, man. Carter and Josh, man, they sold me on it, and my eyes sold it on me. If I don't natties, that is exactly my choice. I think Luke Wafel is going to come in and have a freshman All-American season, man. Just looking at the camp, he looks like an action figure, man. He's ready, right? He is ready.
Right. Breakout. I'm gonna say it's a player that's already on the team. He was banged up at the beginning of the season, but toward the end of the season, he started to come on, got some more playing time, got more consistent. I really look for him to be one of the leaders on the defense, especially in the defensive secondary. I'm going to go with Alex Graham. There's been talk about him potentially moving to safety, from the nickel to the safety. He's one of the more dependable tackles on the team.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, he's one of the more dependable tackles on the team. Leon said Desmond Stevens. So, yeah, I'm looking at Alex Graham, man. I'm really looking for him to take that leap. I don't know whether or not he'll take enough of a leap to be one of the captains of the defense, but he definitely one of the ones that I believe that Gary Patterson is going to like because of his physicality and his ability to get the runner or the ball carrier onto the ground. Now, my only question is how often do they, if he does move to safety, how how often would they play him closer to the box as opposed to away from the line of scrimmage? A player like that, man, I want him around that box. Anytime, any chance I could get him because I know he's going to get the ball carrier down. I don't want him having to sit back and hoping that one of the other 10 guys could tackle the ball carrier. So I want to say Alex Graham.
That's a good pick. What's up, Byron Gray, man? Shout out to you.
Shout out to Byron, man.
All right, third down. What do you think Gary Patterson effect on the defense would be in year one? Do you think Gary Patterson is the answer at DC to fix USC defense issues?
Well, he has to be better than what what we've had for the past 5 seasons, right? When you talk about Grinch and Lynn. Lynn was a little better than Grinch. I expect for Gary Patterson definitely to be an upgrade for both of the previous 2 DCs. He's bringing in his own safeties coach, right? Yeah, he's bringing in his own safeties coach. The guy has over 20 plus years of experience as a head coach. That's what's going to be the most important thing. When I look at the most successful programs here recently, over the past 10 to 15 years, when you talk about your Alabamas, when you talk about your Ohio States, they replaced their position coordinators with coaches that were at one point head coaches. So you're going to come in with that experience. I think not only is he going to make the defensive coaching staff better, I think he's going to make Riley better because a lot of things that he's experienced with, Riley hasn't seen yet. A lot of times I think Riley has been learning on the fly, with his head coaching position. Now, I know he was the head coach at Oklahoma, but he was giving up a lot of games the same way he's been losing games at USC, on the defensive side of the ball. You talk about from a clock management standpoint, that's one thing he doesn't have to worry about that he may have had to worry about with Lynn and with Grinch by him being a head coach is how to manage that clock, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Riley can sit in on some of his meetings that he's having with his position coaches, or maybe even some of the pregame and give him advice on, what to expect in certain situations, how this coach is going to prepare. Chances are, he has experience coaching against a lot of these coaches that we're going to be facing. We talk about his extensive history in coaching. So I'm looking forward to him making not just the defense better, but Riley better as well.
All right. So what do you think his effect on defense will be in year one? Discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that can be fixed right through practice and all that in the spring. Discipline and accountability, tackling for one. He's already stated it's time for young players to grow up. We're gonna be young, but they gotta grow up. So right. He's not about leaving you on the field if you're not making plays, right? So tackling definitely gonna have to get better because if you're not tackling, you're not gonna be in there. Physicality, outside, aggressive man-to-man. We broke down the difference in between the 4-2-5 philosophies and scheme, right? And what he likes to do compared to his predecessor, right? So expect to see those corners and stuff playing aggressive. That's an effect. Better run fit and gap integrity. Again, because all this is going to come down with accountability. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, we'll play the freshman. We'll play somebody that's gonna do it. So I think he's gonna bring that in year one, and better rush defense, right? Because what were we saying last year? Like we needed this philosophy last year. What we said before every game: load the box, do whatever you got to do, make the quarterback beat you
automatically. Automatically, hey man, we need to load the box this game. Every game we were saying what?
Right.
Same thing.
Every game we was like make the quarterback beat you.
Yeah, make the quarterback beat you. Yeah.
Man, I think we're gonna have better rush defense because his philosophy is built around that stopping the run, right?
Right.
So I definitely think that's gonna be his effect in year one. Man, like he said, with his experience and all that, I do think he is the guy. A lot of people was questioning like why, if he's so good of a coach, why he hasn't been coaching. I mean, he came right off the back in the press conference and said why, right? He wanted to make the Hall of Fame. You had to be 3 years removed. So that's why he didn't take any jobs. So it wasn't like nobody wanted him. He was turning down jobs. From what he was saying, it sounded like Riley had reached out to him when he hired Lynn. and Patterson had turned the job down and all that because he wanted to, be out to make the Hall of Fame.
Makes sense.
So,
Yeah, makes sense.
hey, it's we're gonna have better rush defense. I do think he's the guy, like you said, with the years of experience he had and his track record. This is the first time since Riley been there. There's, I hate to say it like this, but a tenured, let's say a tenured coach with that much experience in the building. And like you said, and like I previously said, it's going to help Riley as an overall better coach as well. But specific on his defense, right? Because here he's like, he don't like recruiting, he don't like dealing with NIL. He don't have to, right? He just got to be the X's and O's. Get these guys do what they got to do, and the other coaches handle the recruiting. So I disagree. We will have a better run defense, not because of coaching, because of better D tackle talent. I understand. I feel what you're saying, J Dub, but I think coaching is going to have a whole lot of aspect to do as well in the different the difference in the 4-2-5s and the schematic approach that he takes. Right. Last year our approach. I don't know if you just got on when we broke down the difference of the 4-2-5s and the philosophy and scheme of it. It was more to limit you in scoring to keep your scoring average down. It wasn't aimed to stop anything, right? Gary Patterson 4-2-5 hit the main focus is to be able to stop the run.
Right. One thing I want to add though to that, Chris, when you talk about having an impact, I'm looking forward to have even a greater impact on Henny. Henny, he deserves if he decides to stay, because for I understand, he may consider taking that leap back to the NFL. But if he decides to stay, I expect for Henny to soak up all of the knowledge out of GP, out of Gary Patterson as he can. Especially if you're looking at becoming a DC in the next 1 or 2 seasons, which I think in the next 2 seasons he will be given that opportunity. Now, whether or not it's going to be at USC or somewhere else, I think Henny is going to be given that opportunity. So I look for him to soak up as much knowledge. I don't know if Lynn was that personable of a coach to sit down with Henny and go over some schemes and the reason why he would call certain defenses. Maybe he might warm up to Patterson, but I look for Henny to have. I look for Patterson to be as influential on Henny as anybody else.
Definitely, because if he stay, he'd definitely be the next man in line. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead to 4th down, right? And we're going to open it up for people to call in. This is the bulk of what we're going to be discussing. Is can a 4-2-5 defense be effective in the Big Ten with all these run power teams? What is your USC defensive expectation for 2026? And on defense, what would you consider a successful year next year? What would the defense need to do for you consider it a great defensive year? To say Gary Patterson did a great job.
My expectations is do what we've always been, advocating for our defensive coordinators to do. Not be predictable, stop the run, be aggressive, trust your DBs on the outside. Successful season, I would say at least top 20 in defense. If we can get at least, I say top 20 to top 25, if we can at least get a top 25 defense, shout out to USCJ, man. Appreciate you joining the live with us, bro. If we could get at least a top 25 defense, I can see us getting into the playoffs. I really can. So I'm going to say those reasons or those expectations I expect, but more so than anything, starting off with week 0, man, can we stop the run? Can we get off? Can we get more, a lot more 3 and outs than, being a reactive defense or being in break defense and waiting until they cross over to plus territory and hope for a turnover, hope for an interception, or definitely not getting a TFL or a sack and then giving up a 3rd and 20. I don't want to see us give up no 3rd and 20s.
Or 3rd and 13s, or 3rd and 12s, which
3rd and 12, all of that sounds good, but
I don't want to see none of that no more.
3rd and 20s. Please, no 3rd and
20s. All right. What about the 4-2-5 defense? Can it be effective in the Big Ten with I don't think you answered that part.
What about the 4-2-5 defense? Well,
Yeah, can it be
um,
effective in the Big
well,
Ten
well,
without?
Uh, well, that's to be determined, right? Like he said, he didn't have the luxury of having those size defensive linemen when he was at TCU. Now, defensive backs that that's something different. But when you got a bigger defensive line, I'm pretty sure it could be more effective. But to me, it's going to be to be determined. We face a lot of offensive line that know how to get to that second level. I definitely don't think it'll be effective if we can't you know, get off of those blocks at the point of attack, or at least stand the offensive lineman up to where our linebackers can get through those gaps. So I don't know. It's to be determined right now. Well, I guess we're going to find out. What is it? Week 4. Week 4 when we face off. Who's the first Big Ten opponent? I don't
Oregon?
have a schedule. Who?
No, Rutgers. Rutgers is. Rutgers
Rutgers.
is.
On the road, right?
Mhm.
Definitely. And one thing about Rutgers, they have a mobile quarterback. That's going to be interesting too. I think he was a true freshman last season, but he was pretty solid. He's a solid true freshman. So I think that's probably going to be one of our better tests, our more
I think you
challenging
could.
tests.
I think you're confusing Rutgers with Maryland.
Oh, you might be right. You might be right. I think you are right. Maryland did have a true freshman quarterback. So um, I don't know. It's to be determined. I think we should be able to handle all the teams we should handle as far as stopping the run, especially with it being a fairly new and aggressive defense. But the true test is going to come when we face the Indianas, who's going to run the ball. When we face the Oregons, who's going to run the ball. When we face the Ohio States, who wants to run the ball. That's going to be the true test. So I'm not sure. For me, it's going to be a TBD.
So for me, can the 4-2-5 defense be effective in the Big Ten? Yes, right. It can be. Why? Because I mean, look at the two teams that played in the national championship: Indiana, and Miami. Right. Ohio State runs a 4-2-5. Michigan are running 4-2-5. Predominantly, most teams in the NFL and college football run some type of version of the 4-2-5. Right. As their base, and if they don't, they go to the 4-2-5 a lot. Even if they run a 3-3-5 and things like that. So, like the 4-2-5 is one of the more popular defenses you see across the country. So Ohio State won a national championship using it. So it can work in the Big Ten. It come down to execution, right, and the different philosophies.
Mhm.
Um, like you said, like we seen in the bowl game, right? Like we seen all season. There were times, a lot of times, players were in position, they just didn't make the plays, and if they make those plays,
Mhm. We
some
get
of
out
them
the
drives
field.
are halt. We get off the field. So it's going to come down to it's not that the 4-2-5 can't hold up against the run, or it was put in for spread teams because so many teams are on spread. That's the creation of it for. But
Mhm.
it can be effective against the run, and then it all comes down to philosophy, right? Like we broke down the difference in the philosophies of the 4-2-5s, Lynn's 4-2-5 and Patterson's 4-2-5. And
Mhm.
Patterson's number one goal in his 4-2-5 and his scheme, that one gap, right? You're asking defensive linemen to play one gap, right? So
Mhm.
now, you know, playing two gaps is a lot different than playing one gap. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mhm.
responsible for this gap. I get this gap. I beat this man, right? It's clog up the middle, use your speed on the outside, make them bounce things, right? Have those ends that can contain, that hybrid, that star position, the linebackers, being able to run. It's about having speed on the field. And so it can definitely work, but it's going to come down to, you know, execution. You know what I mean?
It worked for everybody's 4-2-5 except for ours.
Yeah, well,
Our
again,
4-2-5 didn't work.
Indiana runs a 4-2-5, but they have a different 4-2-5 than Gary Patterson and what Lynn runs. So it all come down to philosophy and the different schematics and what you're trying to do, and also the players
Uh-huh.
making the play.
What is it?
Um,
Chuck 2239, where he says Coach GP said that it's going to be his base 4-2-5 defense, but he will mix it up depending on the opponent and what their identity is and how they attempt to attack us. Which means
yeah.
that
So
we're
what
going to
he
be making
what he
in-game adjustments.
yeah, and so what he said as well is that you know, the 4-2-5 that he ran at TCU, yeah, that's his base. But over the years since he's been out, he's adapt, right? He said he's seen what others have taken from his defense and added and done some different things, and he's going to include that as well. But what is your USC defensive expectations for 26 on defense? What would you consider a successful season? Mine real clear. I'm gonna just throw this out. This is our defense last year. What's up, Unc? Appreciate you, man. That's my uncle right there. Y'all make sure y'all go check him out. He got a trading page, man. He got some coloring books out and books out he wrote. Man, he getting people paid. Make sure y'all check him out. Uh, Last year our defense allowed 5.6 yards per play.
Okay.
They gave up 4.4 yards per carry. Me and you talked about it since game one when I was like, bro, look how many times we're giving up 4 yards or more and 10 yards
Right.
more on the ground. 7.1 yards per pass attempt, right? Per game, we gave up 350 yards per game. 144 on the ground, 207 through the air. So my expectation and what I would consider a successful year is, for one, is to cut that yards per rush in half.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If we can go from 4.4 to 2.2, you know what I'm saying? I
Right.
consider that a big jump success. Not giving up so many rush yards for 4 yards and 10 yards or more, right? It was games where we did our tracker B and we did that video on how to fix USC rush defense, where we were looking at games where we were giving up on the season, and like 60% of the times people ran the ball on us, it was for 4 yards or more. We're looking at games where teams are running the ball on us for 4 yards or more 16 times, right? And then for 10 yards or more, it was 7 or 8. Man, that can't happen. Better tackling and discipline. Yards per play need to be cut down. 5.6 yards a play, that's a lot, right? That's 2 plays, that's the first down. Need to get better at that. Get off the field on third down. You stated this as well. Get
Right.
off the field on third and fourth down. No more giving up third and 20s, third and 12, third and 13s, as we've seen a lot. Third and 10s, right? And we can't get off the field. Um, Not giving up first downs on the ground, right? It's third and 6, and teams running the ball on us and getting first down.
Right.
That that can't happen. If we stop that, I consider it a successful season. Three and outs, right? I expect to see more three and outs because he's a more aggressive, right? We're gonna be playing them corners up. We're just not gonna be, you know, playing bend but don't break. But if we can get some three and outs, you know what I'm saying? I consider it a
Right.
successful season. So with all that, I would consider it a successful season if we can do those things. And if we want to make the playoff, we have to do those things.
I think we got to make the playoffs this season, man. And a lot of people don't hold the same sentiment as far as the expectations for Riley. I know you and I talk about this a lot offline, right? About how the new leadership has taken over, how they beefed up the NIL, how they got a better support staff. They're really looking at Riley from a year two, but I just don't know, Chris, man. We talking about going into his fifth season, and he's yet to be there. Get into the playoffs. I just think that the fan base is just restless of him right now, restless with Riley. So I understand, he
I mean, I
faced some
agree. I
some
I understand.
shortcomings.
I, understand.
Yeah.
I agree. I understand the fans are wrestlers and all that. It's just my personal opinion that
Yeah, I
when
understand. I understand definitely.
Chad Downing came in January, right? He set the tone about everybody got on pace on where we're going, right? We just got the facility, got the NIL together in 2025. I think internally they were looking at this thing on a 2 to 3 year plan.
Hmm.
I don't think they were looking at 25 or 26 to be the year. I think internally they came in, said this is where we're at. This is what we're looking to do by year 2, by year 3. This is what you know. So I don't think he's talking to him and fight on that. He's in it about some J Dub, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's on there. But we can go ahead and drop that. We can go ahead and drop that link in, man. You guys call in, let us know what your expectation is for the defense in 2026. What you would consider a successful year defensively, and do you think can the 4-2 defense be effective in Big Ten? Who's going to be our Aiden Fisher from Indiana? Actually, Indiana's best linebacker was number 46 or 40. I can't remember his number, but it was like 46. That was their best linebacker. Aiden Fisher wasn't even their best linebacker. OSU also.
Hold on, I want to go back to a comment that Young Tiny made, and I want you to take a look at this. Where was it?
Young
Here it
Tony.
is right here. Here it is right here. He said it works. We talk about the 4-2-5. He said it works because today's Big Ten is about space, disguise, and versatility, not just size. As long as your nickel can tackle and your front four can hold gaps. You remember earlier I discussed about I heard them kicking around the possibility of moving Graham to safety, but this season he looked really effective at that nickel, playing closer to the line. So I don't know. That would be ideal. I do think that me personally, I think we need to keep Graham as close to that line as possible.
And this is gonna come. It's gonna come down to what Gary Patterson decides, because typically that star position that he had, what we would consider your nickel, which is normally the nickel and the nickel defense, but in the 4-2-5, that star position is normally like a hybrid, right? Big enough to be a linebacker, fast enough to cover. So it depends how he sees it and how Gary Patterson decides to play it. Again, he said he's made some adjustments and he's seen some other teams doing some things with the 4-2-5 that he's going to adopt. So, but as of now, all I can do is go off what I've seen him do in the past and what he's run, and he typically used that position as kind of like a hybrid, right? Somebody like a linebacker safety mixture who can do both, who big enough to hold up in a run, but can also cover.
Right, Leon,
Leon,
fellas, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Hey B, I'm gonna stop sharing since we're bringing people in, so it don't flow
okay.
up. That's all the slides we got. We got the questions.
Yeah, tap into Leon. Leon, go ahead and shout out your channel real quick, man. I see your icon.
Yeah, that's my new logo, Tough Style
Yeah, that's
Cycling
nice,
channel.
man.
Yeah, real
And
nice.
That's nice.
Hey Chris, I did what you did with the chat GPT and said, yo, give me this. But nah,
Yeah,
man,
like
we're gonna focus on cycling,
nice.
and we're gonna focus on health, man. You know what I'm saying?
right. So you hit the topic, right? 4-2-5 defense, Leon. Who you expect to be the
Could Newbie be a star position?
Yeah.
Off the clock possible because he can run. Yeah.
My star position, I think Elijah Newby's gonna have a breakout season too, man. I think somebody was saying either in the chat or something like that, or maybe I read something that, all these players are going to have to audition for this new DC. Ain't going to be no favoritism, no favorites or anything like that. And if we thought that Elijah Newby, and we feared Elijah Newby didn't get a fair shake, if you look at his size, 6'3", 235 pounds, fast as all get out, played multiple positions in high school. I think he played wide receiver, linebacker, safety. Dude has all the tools.
Right.
He may be somebody that can play that star position, no doubt.
Hey, shout out to Carter Sports just joining the live. Carter, my man, go ahead and shout out your channel real quick before you get into it.
Oh, what's up? What's up, y'all? Yeah, Carter Sports and TV. Go follow me. Also got the Trojan Gang or No Bang channel. So go sub up. But
Carter, what's going on?
Carter, before you go, hey, Leon, I heard you on USCJ show, man, talking about your dad and all that. I said, that's why you can cycle for 3 hours. You got the genetics.
Hey, man, listen, just real quick, I don't want to take over y'all's show, but my dad was a bad dude. If back in the day in 19, I'm going to get the year wrong. The 3-point line was first put in a gymnasium in Cleveland, Ohio. My dad, as a freshman in the playoffs, hit the first 3-point shot in that stadium to beat the number 1 team in the state that year. So my dad was a bad dude. Basketball, football, track. Yeah.
Got you. So, Carter, what you think, man? Can a 4-2-5 work in the Big Ten, and what would you consider a successful season in year one for Gary Patterson as far as the defense. And hold on, let's go to Leon first because I don't think Leon had to give his point.
Well, I think the first one was it can definitely work. Um, I think I mean it's mostly dependent on the defensive line, bro. Like that's where we've been having the problem, the front seven. If we get the interior defensive tackle, nose tackles, and the ends to play like they supposed to play like they size, we're not gonna have a problem. We could run a 4-8. You know what I mean? As long as the defensive line is doing their job, the defense is gonna work.
Right.
What was the other question? What was question number 2?
Carter,
Chris?
what you consider a successful season for? What are you going to consider a successful season defensively wise? A successful season in year one for Patterson. What you need to see to consider it a successful season?
You talking about me? You asking me?
Yeah.
Leon was giving his second.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Oh,
I think Leon might be breaking up.
A successful season for me is tackle better, hold all teams to 4 yards or under per carry, and hold teams to under 30% in the red zone. I don't want to see no touchdowns. You know what I mean? And just real quick, we talk about the missed tackles and stuff like this, and I know you guys get tired of me saying this. If you go back and look at that 2024 team, Dan Lynn's first year, we tackled a lot better. But if you actually go look at defense, everybody was a senior on that team, with the exception of 2 guys, Shelby and Kamari Ramsey. Everybody else was a senior. That started. You had Jalen Smith, you had Achille Arnold, you had Jacoby Covington, Greedy Vance, Mason Cobb, EMA, Jamil Muhammad, Nate Clifton, Gavin Meyer. Everybody was a senior except for 2 guys. This year we had a bunch of guys who had lacked experience, lacked a lot of playing time, and I think that contributed somewhat to the lack of tackling. So I think we're going to be a lot better this year.
Before we move on to Carl, let me ask you one question. You said the whole team still 4 yards of carry. I mean, that 3 downs. That's the first down.
I said under 4 yards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Carter, what's up, man?
What's up with it?
You there, Carter?
Yeah,
okay.
Can you hear me?
Man, what you gonna consider? Can a 4-2-5 work in the Big Ten with the power run teams? And what do you need to see to consider it a successful year one as far as defensive wise for Gary Patterson and the defense?
I mean, don't Indiana and Ohio State run a 4-2-5?
Pretty much everybody, even Oregon
so
run a version of Miami. Yeah.
So it's like, of course you can run that defense. And if people thinking about the run game with a 4-2-5, it's easy to put 8 man in a box. That's the great thing about it, because the quarterback, when he comes to the line of scrimmage, he don't know if it's an 8-man box or a 7-man box, because the star might play the linebacker role or he might play the safety role. So the 4-2-5 can run in the big easily. Like, I think it's better than the 3-4. Because I know when we talking about surviving the big, we talking about the running attack. For some reason, because it got 5 DBs and it's versatile and it's made to cover the spread, people think it's weak against the run. Not when you got 4 down linemen and it's always at least 7 or 8 dudes in the box. So, of course. And then for the second question, I ain't gonna lie, Chris and B Jinx and Leon, like, for me to be, the defense gonna come down to the eye test, right? I can't go too much on statistics because we made a great statistical jump. We had one from 100 to 40, and the defense looked better, but we still suck. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even go on statistics because of, you got clock management situations. We don't know what the offense gonna be doing. You know what I'm saying? Penalties, whatnot. The Big Ten refs, we don't get a good whistle. So it gonna go off the eye test to me. If we not getting blown off the ball, check, that's good. If we not missing tackles, check, that's good. Like y'all said, if we not giving up 3rd and 20s, check, that's good. If we not giving up 4th downs, if we not losing on the last drive, if this defense instill confidence in me. Like, how do I feel watching them? Do I feel like they gonna get the stop, or do they go get ran through? So, to me, a successful season is me watching the defense and actually being confident. I ain't been confident since Riley been here in the defense. So that's all I want to see is a defense that make enough plays and do these things to where I'm watching it and we up 3 points and it's a minute left. I'm confident our defense is going to get off the field. A team ain't going to go down the field on us with a minute 30 left on 4 run plays. You know what I'm saying? Like, who we play? Illinois, we played somebody where they went down the field. It was only like a minute 30 on the clock and they ran like
Illinois.
4. That was Illinois, huh?
Yeah, it was Illinois.
Yeah, so stuff like that.
And they ran all the way down the field. Every play was a run. The only pass play was a pass interference, but the rest was just straight run.
That was the first time I seen somebody run a 2-minute drill on run plays.
Well, it was the second. It was the second because the first game of the year, Georgia Tech did it to Colorado, where they did a 2-minute drill at the end of the game to win. It was all run plays. So I seen it twice in life, and it was both last season. It was Georgia Tech against Colorado, and then Illinois against us.
Yeah, and we got to be one of the teams that you've seen in your long, illustrious life. Like, so that's what it is for me, man. This play good enough to give me confidence, man. Like, come on, we ain't even got to be that great.
Yeah, like I was saying, top 25. I think top 25 defense gets us in the playoffs. The only thing I'm anticipating to see is how let me let Uncle Boom here, how physical that GP allows our DBs, our corners to play. I think that's going to help out the run defense, in my opinion. A lot of times we gave up runs because we were worried about our DBs getting beat deep. I think we can't go into the season with that mindset. I think we got to allow our corners to get out there, trust them, and if we have to bring those linebackers up, we just can't afford to look like we looked against Notre Dame or look how we looked against Illinois in that Carter, like you said, in that 2-minute run offense, and where they ran right into field goal range, kicked that field goal with no time left on the clock. Riley's not, since he's been at Oklahoma, and he's been to the playoffs, right? But since he's been at Oklahoma, hey, look, his defense, Riley doesn't have a defense. He's not interested in fielding the defense. He just want to be able to outscore you. Well, at the time, Oklahoma was in the Big 12, right? If I'm not mistaken, when he was there. Wasn't Oklahoma in the Big 12 when he was there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in a different monster now. You're in the Big 10, which has been proven over the past 3 to 4 seasons to be the best conference in college football, and they looking to run it down your throat. So I think you definitely got to match them. Not only match them, but we got to do something different up front. We cannot look like we looked last season.
But I think people say that Riley don't care about defense. I can't say that any longer, right? 2 years ago, he said,
I said that's been a knock on him. I said that's been a knock on him.
But that has to stop, because as of 2 years ago, when he said we're going to do everything from a defensive first, mentality and all that, and I mean he stuck to it. He went and got all the coaches. He brought Lynn in. Last year, you can see how heavily we went on defense. This year, you can see how heavily we went on defense. Portal-wise and in high school. And so that notion that he don't care about, he knows he has to have the defensive win. He tried. He brought the best staff in that he could in recruiting and everything else that he went and get. This year, he ran the ball a whole lot more. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so that notion, I don't think that's like a true notion no more. Up until 2 years ago it was. Like,
and Chris, that was a reverse psychology. They wanted to try to get him to stop focusing on offense because he's running up 30 and 40 points every game. That's what that was.
Uncle Boom, welcome to the show, my man.
What's going on, man? I hear you on a lot of other people's shows, man. I think it's the first time. Welcome, man. We're glad to have you. Make sure you get that like and
Uncle
subscribe,
Boom's
man.
been on this show before. He's been on here before.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's good, fellas? Yeah, what's good, fellas? What's good?
Yeah.
What's going on? What you got? We're talking about next year one with the new DC. What would you consider a successful year? Defensively, what do you need to see to say it was a successful year one under Gary Patterson?
Defensive line play obviously needs to improve. Every great or relatively good defense always has a good D line or a dominant D line, or also to follow with stout linebacker play. You have a good D line or a great D line with stout linebacker play. The secondary usually is always going to be on lock because you're able to get pressure on the quarterback. You're able to stop the run on a consistent basis with the front seven or in the 4-2-5 front six. You could possibly consider the nickel in there, to be a front seven. But if that doesn't improve, it's a failure. Doesn't matter if they go 10-2 or 11-1. The same thing is going to be the same knock on Riley. Well, his defense still doesn't matter. The thing is going to be is doesn't matter who Lincoln Riley gets to be as a defensive coordinator. His defenses still cannot produce to be top-notch, physical, and play on a consistent basis. So anything outside of that is going to be a failure, in my opinion. So we just need to see improved physicality on the D-line and the linebackers. More consistency, more gap integrity. They just need to be able to play better. That's just what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
Hey, what's your name? Your name, Boom?
Yep.
I got a question for you. You don't think Riley can you think Riley being the reasons his defenses suck, or you think he made the wrong choices in DCs? Because I hear some people say it's like the way he practiced or the way he run his program. Like, what you think?
No, I don't agree with that at all. Because there have been plenty of teams throughout the years with that run high octane offenses that have had great defenses. Urban Meyer is an example when he went to Ohio State. Chip Kelly with Oregon. When they finally when they got good at the end of the 2010s and the early 2000s or early 2000s.
The LSU 2019 team.
So their defense got better throughout the year. Their defense wasn't that good in the beginning of the year. It was their offense that was carrying their defense at the time, but their defense improved throughout the year, steady. And at the end of the year, their defense became stout, which was great to see. I wouldn't mind that from a USC defense. Start off a little slow in the beginning, work out the kinks, and then everything start flowing and getting better throughout the season to become more dominant. I wouldn't mind that. You know what I mean? So I don't.
Yeah, Uncle Boone. The only problem with that is we more than likely we're gonna start off with 3 preseason games, so we can't start off slow with one of those teams. I wouldn't expect for us to start off slow with one of those teams, right? Or would you think differently about that?
Starting off slow, in my opinion, against lower level teams, like what we have Fresno State and who else? Louisiana Tech
Louisiana, and I think they might offer. They might schedule somebody else. Like we made.
I think it's supposed to be Stanford or something like that, right?
I haven't heard Stanford.
No, I don't think Stanford.
It might be somebody like a Colorado State, maybe even a
Boise State, San Diego State, Texas
Nevada,
State,
or something like that. So I wouldn't expect for them to start off slow against a Louisiana school.
I
hope not.
I hear you, BJ.
I'm not like saying start off slow as like and look bad. I'm saying start off slow as in getting the kinks out, just working through the kinks. Like, all right, you see.
So basically, how we looked against Georgia Southern and
yeah, it's like that's basically what you have a tune-up game for, right? Those are what the tune-up games are necessarily for. Get the kinks out, work out the kinks.
Okay, hey, so USC Priority said we might, and shout out to USC Priority, man. We got to get him to call in to somebody's show, man, one day. Yeah. He been in the comments, man. Cool as I don't know what. He has a lot of USC knowledge. He said we might play South Florida to start. I know South Florida coach left, their quarterback left, but South Florida had a decent year last year.
They normally have some pretty good teams.
They got a new head coach. And they got a new head coach. Well, who's their new head coach?
I can't remember. I know their last coach left and went to what, Auburn? Yeah, he went to Auburn. Their quarterback transferred out to Auburn as well. So,
it's Will Stein. Will Stein's the coach.
But they beat Florida last year. They beat Boise State last year.
You said Heartline.
Heartline. They coach
Ohio State.
Good job.
Yeah, Heartline.
We need
Yeah,
to play
South
him. He
Florida
gonna be
normally
trying to
has
pluck some of our
some pretty
SoCal
good.
talent.
Hold on, South Florida normally has some pretty good talent. Listen, if this is your first time joining the channel, we appreciate you being here on the live. The only thing we ask is that you guys go ahead and hit the sub button for us. Do us a favor, hit that like and that bell for notification. I think Carter wanted to ask USC Priority a question. Did you already ask? I mean, not USC Priority, but Uncle Boom a question. Did you already ask that, Carter?
Yeah, I already asked him. It was about Riley, and can he feel the defense? He said he don't think it's been Riley's fault. I don't either because it's like, to me, it still ain't no excuse on no defense, right? Because when you start practicing and you going through your schemes and drills, you training for different attacks. So Riley, he could be in practice going to air raid, but when you on your one-on-ones and you doing the run drills, it's still the same football. You getting that work in. Even if Riley do pass a lot in practice, you still gonna be going in the trenches against the offensive line. You're gonna have to stop the run. You know what I'm saying? So I believe it's just that the coaches that he had with Grinch, that was a friend. Deanton Lynn, he didn't have enough experience. He did 1 year at UCLA, and we thought he was all that. So I think this time, that's why he got a more experienced DC. Like, this somebody I know. So just think about it, y'all.
Check this out, Carter. So per Gary Patterson in his press conference, right, that he had the other day. I mean, he stated in his press conference that a few years ago when he hired Deanton Lynn, he was like, he didn't say about when he hired it, but he said when the job came open a few years ago, you know, Riley had reached out to me to see if I was interested, but basically he wanted to sit out 3 years to make the Hall of Fame. So Riley had him on his radar already.
Right. And you got to think about it. Like, it's two things about this dude I was thinking about, right? He invented this defense, this 4-2-5. Like, that's his invention. And then he invented something that everybody else copied. And then the second thing is he was winning at TCU with 3-star talent. To me, that's the biggest flex on the coach. That's how I judge coaches. Like, what can you do with less? Because when you got less talent, guess what? It take more coaching. So I'm really just excited to see this dude. He even said it, like, he ain't never been on a team with this much talent. He said, I'm used to having 3 stars going against Texas and Oklahoma. He said it's going to be good to be on a team where we just as talented or more talented than the opponent. He ain't never been in that situation. So if dude can make it work with 3 stars, hey, the more I study this dude, the more I'm impressed. The more I think about it, it's like, hell yeah, bring him in. Especially when I found out, because, you know, we all wanted PK. But then we found out that Sark called GP to help PK run his defense. So if he coaching up the dude that I wanted, then he that dude then, right? Like, we all like PK, but hey, PK had to bring GP in.
Let me ask you a question on that, Leon, before you go real quick, and everybody can ask that. Answer this question that's on the panel. How much of an impact do you think Gary Patterson is going to have on Lincoln Riley as far as from a competition standpoint and practice? You got to remember, this is a head coach, so he has a head coach's ego. So when you're going up against the number one offensive practice, you're not looking to hold back to where somebody else who's never been a head coach, especially with that much experience, might be looking to maybe even take a back seat and acquiesce to the head coach himself. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I was actually going to make a comment that kind of talks about that. I don't really know how much of an influence GP is going to have on Coach Riley, but I will say this. If you just look at the roster and how it's constructed, the biggest issues we had was in the trenches, right? And once you get past the first team guys, if you look at last year's roster, there really wasn't a lot of talent. So your second string guys aren't probably, or your first string guys, if they're going against second team, how much pushback were they really getting? You look at the roster now, and it's like you 2 and 3 deep at each position, especially against that defensive and offensive line. So those are the problem areas. I think that the practices are just going to be this more intense, regardless if GP was there or not. The talent that we have there, you're going to really have some battles to where people are going to be ready during game time. Like, people talk a lot about when Pete Carroll was here and how intense the practices were. Those practices were only intense because they had the players to make the practice intense.
Yeah, have the
We
depth.
didn't,
Have the
yeah,
depth.
we didn't have that in 2023 or 2024 in terms of depth. And if one of your star players gets hurt, then you're really going to be in bad shape. Now you got three deep at nose, you got three deep at D tackle, you got three deep at both defensive ends, and we already know what the offensive line got. We've seen that all year.
Right.
So I just think the practices are going to be a lot more intense, and I think that's going to set them up. And I don't even know if GP and the new linebacker coach are going to have a significant impact on maybe how the linebackers play, and maybe that just makes the practices more intense. That's what I'm looking at.
I think he's going to have an impact on your question, B, on Riley, for the simple fact that, like I previously stated, this will be the first time in his tenure since he worked for Bob Stoops that he's had someone tenured on the staff, this tenured with that much experience. And being around that experience can't help but make you better and learn and teach you things, right? When you're around that much experience. I mean, even if it's something, I believe him and Riley have a great relationship. One of the reasons Riley brought him on is I know in the press conference he was like, thank God I don't have to answer questions no more. If y'all ask me, I could just say Riley will answer it, and it's been great. I've been wanting to do that so long. I don't got to do this and that. But behind the closed doors, if they're game planning or Riley have a question, to have that knowledge and all that experience in there, I'm sure GP will help them. Oh, it looks like they're doing this on defense. Like looking at this film, GP is a film junkie. He knows defenses, so he can even help with the offense by saying this is what they like to do. This is what they're doing. Not only that, just head coaching decisions, right? Even in them headsets during the game, if something come up as far as time wise, man, what you think? What you think, GP? This is what I'm thinking about, or if it comes down to travel or anything else like that. It's just throwing ideas off of them to see how did you handle when you have somebody on your staff that has that much experience. You'll be a fool not to utilize it, right? And to not tap into that resource, right? It's like being at a lake and you die of dehydration, right? Tap into the source, right? He has a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience. It definitely should rub off, on Riley, situational football and things of that nature. Riley, he's been doing it a while, but he's still considered a young coach, right? You look at all these other coaches, like Signetti, he's not as old as Gary Patterson. There's a lot of young coaches out there, but we see Riley evolve every year. There's some things he do better every year than what he did the year before. And just to have that wealth of knowledge and experience in the room, I think it'll pay dividends for him.
All right, before anybody else goes, shout out to B Jones from Light the Torch podcast. He just joined us the live. B Jones, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Sound like a siren, man. You running from the police?
The police chasing you, bro? Like, what's happening?
Might be ice. Might be ice.
It's not ice. If it's ice, you out of here, man. You can believe that.
B Jones, FBA.
Right. But I just want to bring it up, man. I know somebody had mentioned Patterson evolving. He's taking a step back, watching the game, and evolving a defense that he created. You know what I'm saying? Learning from other coaches about what they're doing now with something that he created, man. It's like as if say we're making music, right? And I create a bass line, then I'll see online that all these other bass players are adding these licks here and there, you know what I mean? And then I'm taking that too. You evolving with something that you created is just amazing to me, man. So that was a big key for me, man, hearing that from Gary Patterson. That was honestly my concern. I'm like, is he gonna be stuck in his old ways just because it's something that he created, or is he gonna see that the game is evolving and adapt.
Right.
B. Jones, did you say you play bass?
I didn't say, but yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
Nah, Chris said ice.
I said
No, I didn't.
ice.
Oh, Leon
I,
said
I,
ice.
I said
I
ice.
don't bring
Yeah.
up politics. I don't bring up politics. None of that on here. That wasn't me.
Nah, yeah. Gary Patterson said he gonna add a little twist to his 4-2-5. He been watching, and that's what's dangerous about it though. He been sitting back and just watching the game these last few years. So I know a gang of ideas that came into his head and whatnot. But back to B question about, do I think he gonna have an effect on Riley? I mean, at the very least, I mean, Riley gonna be facing the defenses that he gonna be facing in the Big Ten. Like when we play Indiana, Ohio State, and all the other teams that run the 4-2-5, at least we gonna be ready for it. Like our offense should be humming. Our offense should be humming because most teams, when I'm thinking about it, especially in the Big Ten, they run a 4-2-5 or like a 4-3 type deal. So it's like not too many teams ran the 4-2-5 and the 3-3-5 and the stuff that Lynn was doing like that. Like I didn't see too many teams run our defensive schemes. So it's like we just getting into it. I love it actually.
Uncle Boom, your thoughts on that?
Hey, real fast, B. Jones, I'll just show you, man. This is my pride and joy. This is my 6th string here. I got a 6, a couple 5s, and 4 strings.
Oh yeah, I know you play. Okay, we gotta chop it up.
Yeah, I play bass, piano, organ, all that. I'm a church musician. I play anything on treble clef.
Oh yeah, we're gonna chop it up.
Yeah.
Oh, happy
so I
days.
see where you was going with that metaphor.
Uncle Boom, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. Your thoughts on that? Gary Patterson having an impact on Riley.
Oh yeah, I think he'll have an impact. You know, just is Lincoln Riley going to let his ego get in the way? I don't think that'll happen because I mean, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of factors that were going on in Lincoln Riley's head in order to bring GP in. So I'm pretty sure he's going to use him, you know, to bounce things off of. You know what I mean? Obviously, he should use the expertise of GP. It doesn't matter if he was in the, you know, Conference USA, Mountain West, Big 12. He has 21 years of head coaching experience, so he would be a fool not to tap into that experience. You know what I mean?
Right. I know B. Jones, you're out there near the program as far as bringing in a coach like Gary Patterson, who's just as much as of an alpha, but you know, with more experience. You think there could be a positive impact for Riley going against Gary Patterson's defense every day, not backing off, making them better. We always say what? Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yep, that's the thing, man. I mean, Riley mentioned it himself, you know, that he's always had an issue or he always had, you know, a challenge going up against Gary Patterson's defense. So him doing it on a daily basis is only going to make him better.
All right, let me ask you another question, B. Jones. Does Gary Patterson hire get Lincoln Riley over the top and into the playoffs?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he can bring that discipline like the offense that he will, I mean, to me, that's the thing that's holding us back. We got to be more defensively sound. I mean, more discipline on the defensive side of the ball. You know, so yeah, I mean, I would expect this too.
Leon, does this hire get Lincoln Riley over the top and into the playoffs?
I don't know. I would sure hope so. I think it just depends on how the players play. As much as we want to put this on the coaches, it's the players. The players play up their expectations. We're easily in the playoffs. And if I take that back. I'll say yes. Gary Patterson comes in, and if he has the fire that we've all heard about, and the players take heart to that, yeah, we in the playoffs, easy.
Uncle Boom.
Yeah, it has to pay off this year. It has to.
Carter.
What's the question again?
Does this GP hire, Gary Patterson hire, get Riley over the hump and into the playoffs?
For next season?
Yeah.
Man. I would say yeah, but we young and that schedule tough. And I know we ain't gonna get no favors when it come down to the playoff committee. So it's like we could really be a playoff level team and still have 2 or 3 losses. Right? So I think we gonna be a playoff team, playoff level. We gonna be able to compete with anybody. But if we go make it, that's a whole different story, though. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but I do think we'll be at playoff level though, especially by I say mid-season. Like I said, we young. We might have some growing pains in the first 4 or 5 games against real competition, but I think we'll eventually get there. Will it be too late? What have we took too many losses? It gonna matter when we start in the AP poll. It gonna matter what our opponents do that we do lose against. You know what I'm saying? So it's so much going to playoffs now. You can't really just say like, yeah, we gonna make the playoffs. All I can say is I think we gonna be playoff level though. I do. By end of the season though. I don't know if we gonna come out the gate like that though.
Hey Leon, before you get
Stop
out of here,
life.
go ahead and shout your Leon. Before you get out of here, go ahead and shout out your channel real quick.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the pod, y'all. I gotta go. But my new channel is called Tough Styles. So y'all want to learn about, just a little bit more health and cycling. Hit me up.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Y'all fight on. Have a good one.
Right on. All right.
I need to buy me a bike.
So yeah, man, I've been trying to talk to Leon about it, man. I need to get some excited. Be asking me that question again so I can really understand.
Does this Gary Patterson hire get Lincoln Riley over the hump and into the playoffs?
So somebody got to go on mute. I don't know who that is with all the background.
I don't know.
In the car.
Hold on.
Card, is that you in the car?
No, I got it. Go ahead, Cook. I got it. Go ahead.
All right. So this is what I'm gonna say. The Gary Patterson hire don't do it because our team have more issues than defense. But bringing in a special teams guy that turned Nebraska over and turned them around with the Gary Patterson defense, with the caliber players we're getting in now, that does it. The Gary Patterson hire alone don't, because we have a lot of deficiencies on the team. Special teams was atrocious, right? So I'm going to say the totality of the moves do. Do we make the playoffs in 26? I hope I'm wrong, and people can eat me up in the comments and they can hate me. I don't think we make it in 2026. I haven't seen us practice. I haven't seen what they look like with Gary Patterson. We're not going to be able to see. My answer might change, like I told Carter, week 0, when I get to see us tackle somebody and play better against the run, right? And no matter who we play, we'll be able to tell. You remember week 0, week 1, I was telling you we couldn't stop the run, even though we're playing those bad teams, right? There's signs out there that you can tell. You can see if the D line is being pushed back. You can see if there's the linebackers are doing better gap integrity. You can see all that. But just looking at the roster, the usefulness, what we did in the portal, I don't think we did enough to address our issues. I felt like we needed a backup center for Kill Switch. He's great, but he gets injured a lot. I felt like we needed another big interior defensive tackle. I felt like we needed some downhill linebackers, right? And we could have used another safety. So what we did in the portal and what I've seen with the current roster, I know we got some freshmen coming in that can play, but just based off what we have now, I don't think and what I've seen, I don't think we make the playoffs in 26.
Well, to be fair, they're still adding people. They just added a linebacker. So I think they're still adding people through the portal. I don't know the caliber.
I mean, but he's a preferred walk-on.
That's what I was about to say. I don't know the caliber. Yeah, but
we can't sleep on walk-ons.
His film was good.
We can't sleep on walk-ons. What Indiana done and what King Miller done.
Yeah. That's fact.
That dude looked good on tape, though. He looked good on tape.
He did. But he's an undersized linebacker at 6'1", 210. He's an undersized linebacker. But
I think they can put about 10 pounds on him over the summer. What we'll do is we'll close it out on this. Ceiling on the floor, and I'll go first. the floor 10-2, the ceiling 11-1.
Gee.
You said the floor. You said the floor is 10-2 and the ceiling is 11-1.
Floor 10-2. Last season, what we say, Chris? We said the floor was what 9-3 and the ceiling was 10-2, right? That's what we said last season, right? I'm going this season. I'm going the floor 10-2 and the ceiling 11-1.
All right, Carter.
We know the ceiling.
Carter doing some.
I mean, we could go undefeated. To be honest, I mean the ceiling is undefeated because to me, the ceiling is all our players last year taking the next step in development. Right.
Okay.
So everybody on defense got to be better, and they can be. Everybody can take a year step up. The ceiling is having some of them freshmen do their thing like we expect them to do too, like the Luke Wafels and the Mark Bowmans and the Albert Hills. So our ceiling, we could run the table, but I think our floor, we could lose 5 games this year. I mean, it's a gang of tough ones. We could lose to Indiana, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, Washington with their quarterback. This defense do have a problem struggling with mobile quarterbacks. So we could lose 5 games because we playing like 6 or 7 decent teams that could beat, especially if we look at how we lost to Illinois and the Maryland. So I think the ceiling is 12-0.
Well, the reason why I said that, the reason why I said is Riley's been pretty solid at the house. I know last season he was solid at the house.
True.
So that's why I was saying that. Now, if we had those games on the road, I probably would switch it. But I think the tougher games when you talk about, I think we got Ohio State at home, we got Washington at home, we got Oregon at home. A lot of those games we got them at the Coliseum.
True. I'm worried about one thing though, like
what's that?
Who gonna play the star? I know B. Jones said he got a list for me, but the only person I could think of who fit the star role on our team is Newbie. And studying this defense, it do not work if the star ain't cracking. It just ain't gonna work.
So
with that in mind, you still picking the ceiling of 12-0?
Yeah, because that mean they got it right. That mean Newbie could fit the role. We got somebody. I think Newbie could do it, right? But behind him, I don't know. But yeah, the ceiling is Newbie playing the star and he stay injury free, I guess. So yeah, the ceiling's still 12-0. But y'all got to think. I'm saying 12-0 if everything go right, right? We got good health and everybody develop. You know what I'm saying? So that is the ceiling though. We do got that talent. We do. On paper, I mean, our roster, I was looking at our roster the other day, and we is full of 4 or 5 stars. We just is.
Most of them inexperienced.
Uncle Boom, it's on you.
Oh, B. Jones left?
Yeah, B. Jones dropped off. Yeah, he dropped off.
Yeah, I think the ceiling is 11-1. To me, the floor is 10-2 because if USC goes 9-3 and the 3 losses are to Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana, to me, all 3 of those losses are unacceptable because those are you have to beat 1 or 2 out of those 3 teams this year. It just has to happen. If you lose all 3 of those games and it's by 14 points or more, to me, it's not a good look because you're not able to beat the top-notch teams in your division. You're only able to beat the bottom feeders, and that's not what USC is about. You have to be able to take the next step and beat the big dogs on the block. And unfortunately, Oregon's a bigger dog than we are. It's just what it is. What it is. Indiana's a bigger dog than we are. Ohio State's a bigger dog than we are. We can't go 9-3 and lose to those 3 teams. It just can't happen.
I agree with that. But the reason I say 12-0 is because I don't see no team that we can't beat though. Like I'm honest. Like if we came out and we beat Ohio State or Indiana, I wouldn't be that surprised. It wouldn't like I'd be like shocked. So that's what I'm saying is the more likely scenario though. I'm thinking 10-2. If I'm betting money, if we in Vegas, I'm putting my money on 10-2.
But Carter, let me ask you this question before we get out of here, right? If we came out and we beat, all right, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go B. I can wait till you're done.
If we came out and we beat Indiana, we beat Ohio State, wouldn't that, like you said, meant that Lincoln Riley and the staff of Chad Bowden got it right with Gary Patterson and with Eckler, hiring on those two coaches?
I would agree to that. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Carter.
Not if we win 50-45 or something.
It's still a dub though, because remember we haven't been beating them. It's still a dub though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Gary Patterson said we just got to hold them to one less points than what the offense scored.
Hey, that's true.
Exactly what he said.
Hey, that's true. I mean, if we win, ain't nobody gonna be complaining if we win 50-45. But in the back of our mind, we still gonna be like, our defense need to get it together though. We still gonna feel like that.
I'm with Uncle Boom, man. Riley has to show improvement this season, man. Year before last, we were 6-6, right? We barely got into a bowl game. Last season we was 9-3. But what does those two seasons have in common? I mean, we can even go back to 2022, not being able to win a big game. Riley has to do that this year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was Michigan, right? That was our big game. Remember, everybody got up for that. I even made a speech. Remember, Chris? I even made a speech, man.
We're bringing it back to our film study.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Riley, I'm with Uncle Bull, man. Riley got to take that next step, man. He have to, because if not, because if not, we'll be accepting, 4th or 5th in the Big Ten every season. We good, if we look up and don't pull Indiana and Ohio State, we might get in, but that might be 4 or 5 years down the line from now. He got to next season. He has to.
Yeah. And what was the question again, B? So I'll make sure I answer this right.
I forgot, man. What was the question?
It's basically what's the ceiling and the floor for?
Yeah, what's the ceiling for? Appreciate you, Uncle Boone. What was the ceiling and the floor?
All right, because I forgot too. Because the first off, Carter said he wouldn't be surprised if we beat Indiana and Ohio State.
I would be shocked.
Shocked. And I'm gonna say I would be shocked. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny, but now listen to what I'm saying. I ain't trying to be funny, and I'm not.
No, I hear you.
Against the team, I would be shocked, right? Because one thing we know about Indiana and Ohio State is they're disciplined, physical teams, and they're not going to beat themselves. They're not going to make the crucial mistake. So I would be shocked because we're good for at least 3 to 4 self-inflicted wounds a game that we've seen through this regime.
Mm-hmm.
Every game, right? Some costly turnovers, missed tackles, some blown coverage, like special teams, right? So if we go beat Indiana. Indiana is disciplined as it is, a team who didn't fumble the whole season, right? And don't beat themselves. That means we had to play 4 complete quarters of disciplined football. And so if I see it, I'm gonna be shocked because I haven't seen it in this whole regime. That's all I'm saying. Like that's what it's gonna take to beat those teams. And that's
I wouldn't be shocked by an Ohio State wins because of their new offensive coordinator coming in.
That's true. They lost Hartline, and
losing Hartline was big, and you could see that clear as day with Ryan Day calling the plays against Miami. Their offense was completely different. It had no feel to it at all. Plus, they were playing Miami that had a great defense. So for that,
I'm about to say because I feel like he called a good game against Miami. He was even getting a lot of praise for his play calling and stuff in that game, man. Miami had a really good defense, man. When you can get pressure, stopped around with 4, when you can get pressure stopped around with 4, you're gonna cause any offense havoc. And that's another thing, right? We got to think about it. We're pretty much running it back with the same offensive line.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, for sure.
They're gonna have another year, right? They should of course take a next step, be even better and all that. But what did we see from this offensive line? When we got against those teams that were elite, our offensive line was abused.
Yeah.
They were hurt too. They was hurt too.
Against Oregon, against Notre Dame, and all the losses. I mean, teams were whipping offensive line with just 4, right? We couldn't run the ball against a 4-man front. They were able to get pressure with a 4-man front and drop people back and double Makai and all that because they were just throwing with a 4-man front. So again, not only defensively, the offensive line gonna have to take a jump, especially when we get into those big games against those great defensive line and not get whipped by a 4-man front. But
Gotta
to answer,
be healthy. Definitely got to be healthy. The majority of this year for sure.
that's fact. But what we seen
The
last
O-line got to
year,
get better.
that's what I'm saying.
They got to develop another level up. Because like you said, against a great competition, it was 2 yards in a cloud of dust.
Right.
When we was running the ball, it was a struggle.
And they were getting pressure. They were getting pressure with 4 and dropping everybody else back. But to answer the question, to me, the ceiling is 10-2, and the floor is 8-4.
10-2, 8-4.
8-4. To me, that gets everybody fired. That should get everybody fired, in my opinion.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. We all understand what needs to happen, what can't happen as fans, what we don't want to see to happen. I'm going off schedule, the makeup of the team, and what I see. It's no way. I'm gonna be honest. It's no way I see us going undefeated and beating Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State in the same year. Right? We can easily lose those 3 games. And USC have a game that they shouldn't lose. This year it was TCU, even though it was a bowl game. But think about our woes on the road. We still haven't played great football on the road, right? Nope. And Penn State could be a tricky one. You know what I'm saying? That could be a tricky one. Washington can be a tricky one at home. So 4 losses is not out of the question. But I think the ceiling is 10-2. The floor is 8-4.
If we go 8-4, man, I look for Riley to lose his job.
Me too.
They gonna let Riley coach that 26 class. He getting 27. Y'all can forget about that. Like
8-4, 84, Carter, man. I don't know, man.
It depends how I look.
Because they'll be taking a step. But even with that, they'll still be taking a step backwards, though. And you got everybody on offense. Just about. We talk about the offensive line. You talk about your running backs, you talk about your quarterback. Sure, we'll be breaking in some new receivers, man, but I don't know about 8-4. USC says, Chris, Ohio State is not beating us at home. Give Riley his flowers for how he.
You know what?
Which is what I said.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But to be honest, last year's home schedule was very favorable.
Hey, so if USC goes 10-2. I think that's probably the most realistic record this year. If they go 10-2, who would you rather those 2 losses be against?
I mean, so this is my thing, right? Right now, we don't know what the season makeup going to be at the end of the year. If we go 10-2 and we have 2 losses, I want it to be against the 2 highest ranked teams that we play.
Right. That probably whoever Ohio State.
Yeah, whoever the 2 highest ranked teams that we play and playoffs going in the year to make our schedule and strength all that look better. That's who I would prefer not to lose to anybody. But if we're talking about 10-2, who we prefer it to be, of course we want it to be fight on that. Is he tripping, man? Man, he tripping.
Yeah.
USC says, J-Dub, be real. You don't know what you're talking about.
USC gotta chill. Like, it ain't no guarantee we gonna beat Ohio State at home. Like,
we gotta have.
What did J-Dub say? I missed it. I don't know what's going on.
J-Dub said we ain't beating Ohio State.
But no, that's J Rod. That's J Rod, not J Dub.
Ohio State. Honestly, Ohio State is losing a lot this year, just like Indiana. Ohio State's not returning that entire team next year. They're losing a lot of key pieces on defense. They have to reload. I mean, they still got Matt Patricia as their defensive coordinator, which honestly is a big thing. But they're not returning those big pieces that they have on defense that had them as a number 1 ranked defense this year.
Ohio State got they roster is full of they got dudes waiting in the wings, bro. So I wouldn't count on they got these dudes.
Hey, Carter, I think it goes back to what I said in our last live, and Uncle Boom, I don't know if you were listening or not when we talked about standards and how I don't know. Listen to me. I'm not putting Ryan Day on the same level as a Nick Saban. But if you go back and you listen to the last live, I talked about standards, about how Nick Saban had the standards set so high to matter. It didn't matter what coordinators he brought in. You got the same results year after year. Now, is Ryan Day that type of coach? I don't think so. But I don't think they just.
But he got elite talent.
He got elite
Every
talent.
year.
Yeah, so I don't think that they're just going to fall off like that. Now I do think we get them because we play better at the house, and I look at that as possibly being that game when I compare it to where we played Michigan last season. I think we come out fired up, ready to play, man. I think it might even be a night game. I think this team comes out, with a point to prove with a chip on our shoulder. So that's why I'm thinking that we get Ohio State.
Here's the thing. I didn't say who we would lose to. We're talking about the ceiling and the floor. And I think that's what the comments are getting misconstrued. What I said is I see the ceiling as 10-2 and the floor is 8-4. And you guys said 8-4. And I named 4 possible losses that could happen. Now, I didn't say we was going to lose them yet. I haven't seen, you know what I'm saying? I'm saving predictions and all that for week 0. Last year I was fooled. We heard all offseason and everything, how great the defense was going to be and all this and that. And we get to week 0 and we're this. So I'm saving all that to week 0. I want to see with my own eyes. They don't let me see practice. We can't see spring games. I'm not asking them to. But before I start giving predictions on who we going to beat and all that, I need to see some film. I need to see the other teams play. I need to see us. But as far as my ceiling and floor, I don't see us going undefeated. I think our ceiling is 10-2, and the floor, which means what do you think the worst record can be? Our floor for me is 8-4, and those are 4 teams I can see that possibly the 4 losses. Now, will we beat Ohio State at home? I ain't making no prediction yet. Too, I see us week 0 on how we play the run and what this defense look like.
So you don't know where you think. So you don't know where you think them 2 losses coming from?
No, I just don't see us going undefeated. I think realistically, our ceiling 10-2, and what's on that 8-4, and the floor 8-4.
So them 2 losses could be against anybody.
It can be out of those 4 teams that I just said.
Who the 4 teams? Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, and who else?
Penn State, and something like that. Penn State or Washington, I believe.
I think he said Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, and Washington.
No, I said Ohio State. I said Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, and I can see us tripping up in a 4th, either against like a Washington or a Penn State on the road.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll have to stay there for another live, man. Again, everybody
that's still on the floor, but we'll start getting into predictions and all that. But I can tell you now, I ain't giving no prediction. Last year I did it. Well, we had the same thing last year, right? What we said
9-3, 10-2. Yeah, we said that last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but again, man, we appreciate everybody that showed up to the live, man. Special shout out, special thanks to my man Leon. Go over there and check out his channel. Uncle Boom, we appreciate you joining the live, my man. Hold on. We got somebody coming in. I can't shut it down now. USCJ.
No, don't shut it down. Hey, Carter, what's great? Hey, Carter. You say I need to chill?
Yeah, if you think it's a guaranteed win.
Wait. No. Wait. Hold on, homie. Hey, look at the comment section. I'm not the one that called him out. He called me out. You need to check your facts. Real talk.
Who called you out?
Dude in the comment section. Hey, why don't you look at the chat first before you making a comment on me? Talk about I need to chill. No, Jay Dubs.
No, I ain't talking about your back and forth with Jay Dubs. I'm talking about you saying we beat.
But that's what it was about. That's what it was about. I'm giving an opinion. It's everybody can express their opinion, just like you was up here a few minutes ago and just said you feel like we can go undefeated. That's your opinion. I respect it. But he got to respect the fact. He don't need to come on here talking about what I created. Talk about I created a profile to make players. Come on, bro. It's your opinion. It's my opinion. Everybody can respect the opinion. But one thing I'm not going to do is allow nobody to be trying to call me out. He need to check himself. Or better yet, better yet, he need to come from and hide from behind the camera and let's talk about it. How about that?
Hit the link.
How about
I
that?
tell J Dub to hit the
Hold
link
on.
all the
Hey,
time.
Yeah.
J Dub. Hey, J Dub.
J Dub, hit the
J
link.
Dub, answer the chat. J Dub, answer
Yeah,
the chat.
hit the link. I'm waiting on you.
It's coming. Hold on, Jay. It's coming. Hit the link, J Dub.
I ain't never seen USCJ just turned up.
No. Hey, bro. I'm not.
A USC game banger.
No, bro. Hey, no. Come on, bro. Hey, no, yeah. Hey, y'all missed the comment. Everybody making comments. I just said I feel like we could beat Ohio State. Simple as that. It's not. It's just an opinion. Where J Dub at?
J Dubs, hit the link, my man. Hit it. Go ahead and hit the link.
Y'all scared J Dub. Y'all scared him.
No. He's scared. Hey, stop. Hey, make comments. But if you gonna stand on your business, man, get in the chat. Get in the thing.
I dropped the link, Jay.
Hey, Jay, hey, you need to bring this energy to your channel. Like, if your channel,
man, I got the energy.
Like, Jay pop up on us to be gangster.
No, man. It's always the same energy.
But what comment are you talking about? You said something about.
I said
you gotta go all the way up.
I said something about Ohio State. He talks about. He said, Jay, you created your profile something crazy. I don't know. I can't even see it right now because I'm on the.
Hey, look, he said USCJ is the reason that people be like fire Riley because USCJ say we going 12.
Man, he's a clown. Hey, listen to me, bro. Listen to me. Hey, J Dub, that's a clown comment, and you a clown for that. So get in the chat. Let's talk about it.
J Dub,
I'm telling y'all, we be needing the verses. I told y'all we be needing the verses.
No, we can all agree. USCJ.
So Carter, that's what you. So when you say I need to chill, you need to check the comment before you say that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm responding to.
I didn't realize y'all was going at it to the end.
I wasn't going at it. I made one comment about Ohio State, and he come out of nowhere. I don't even know who he is.
I don't think nobody knows who J Dub is. Nobody knows J Dub.
Yeah, but he
made J Dub run off. Like, I don't see none of his comments no more.
I don't even know who he is.
You scared him.
J Dub's a regular. He
come on here. I think I've seen him on your channel too, Jay.
Man, hey, I don't know what channel he be on, but all I know is I made a comment. He coming out of nowhere with some weird comment, and that's when I responded to his comment and you saying chill, because that's what it was about. It ain't got nothing to do with chill. Chill what?
I don't know. He came at. I seen it later after I said that.
Somebody said he was on
blamed USCJ for people wanting Riley fired.
I don't. Hey, listen. Hey, come on, bro. Come on, man.
Which channel is that you got called Trojan Gang or Don't Bang? Which one?
Man, he crazy. He crazy.
USCJ, he need to change his channel to Trojan Gang or Don't Bang.
No, man. Hey, I'm. I mean, yeah, bro. Yeah, man. We don't.
I think you scared him off, Jay. I think you scared him off.
No, man. Hey, look, man. Tap in, J Dub. We it's all love, but we gonna get you straight though. It's all love. For real. It's all love.
Gonna get you straight though.
And I'm gonna stand on business though.
J Dub, if you in pocket, man, go ahead and hit the link real quick. I'm gonna drop it one more time for you, man. I'm gonna
wait 5 minutes before I get off.
It's just an understanding, man. J Dub, go ahead.
Hey, listen. Hey, the Bible says this: in all your getting, get an understanding. I'm trying to get an understanding right now.
Yeah, just get an understanding. That's all. USCJ want to understand it. Hey, shout out to USCJ, man, for showing up on the live, Jay, man.
Yeah, man. You know I'm rolling, man. I'm rolling, so I'm just listening to you guys rolling.
But go ahead and shout out your channel again, real quick, Jay.
Oh man, yeah, USCJ Lost to the Sauce podcast, man. We here.
Yeah. Well, Jay, while we got you, while we wait for J Dub, the topic of the day, you can give us yours if you want to share it. For you next year, what's a successful year one for Gary Patterson and defense? Like, what do you need to see to consider it a successful year?
Man, I think tackling, man. Tackling's got to be the number one thing. I mean, look at Lincoln Riley. With Alex Grinch, he had, and we can go way back and start talking about this Alex Grinch thing or not. But at the end of the day, these dudes was in position to make plays, and they missed tackles. We hired Lynn. Some of them guys was in position to make plays, but they missed tackles. So this next one, man, I want to see these guys tackling, man, because at the end of the day, you tackle, you stop the play, and we have turnover on downs. It's gonna create a whole nother thing. But I think it has to be successful, man. But it's not just Gary Patterson though, because at the end of the day, we talk about clock management and whether it's run the ball more or whether scoring too fast, or having a balanced offense in order to be successful. So I told you guys this last week. I think I was on here. I said it starts from the head, man. I said if the head is sick, the whole body's sick. And I'm not saying Lincoln Riley's sick, but I'm just giving you an analogy that it has to start. It has to start with Lincoln Riley, man, and trickle down. Yeah, Gary Patterson, because we said the same thing about Lynn, and it's weird because Lynn, he had a decent defense at UCLA, but then all of a sudden when he came here, with his first year he did all right. He kept us in I think 40, but this past year, it just I don't know. It just seemed like guys weren't the second half adjustments. All that stuff was just all the way weird. I don't know if he was stuck in the twilight zone or what, but it just seemed like no real second half adjustments, and you just didn't understand it. We were all saying it. I was coming on doing halftime shows. I was saying hopefully we see the halftime adjustments, but we didn't see it. So, we told overall, man, this thing is balanced, and these guys tackle, man. And I think it has to be at least, man, we got to win these home games, man. Period.
Yeah, definitely got to win these home games.
Hey, shout out our guy, man, Jay, man. We gotta get him to call in somewhere, man. USC Priority in the chat, man. We gotta get him to call in to somebody's show, man. He got a lot of knowledge and stuff, man. He be hiding and coming. He won't ever join, man. Tell the guy, get our guy to call in to somebody's show, Jay.
Jay, you see
USC Priority said the ceiling. USC Priorities. Man, make sure y'all check him out on Instagram too. USC Priorities be updating and having a lot of USC content and stuff, man. Make sure y'all go at him on there. But he said the ceiling 12-0, floor 7-5, but that's injury influence.
Yeah, he said injury influence. He did say that.
A lot of
Jay, you breaking up. Jay, you hit a bad spot, bro.
He driving them tractor trailers for UPS.
Okay.
He going through a mountain or something.
J-Rod saying the floor is bad. J-Rod saying the floor is 8-4. Ceiling.
USCJ was hot.
Yeah, I ain't never seen him get active like that.
He said he came on and got active. Jay, you still there, my man? Jay, you still there? Yeah, I don't think Jay Doug's gonna show up, my man.
No,
he
got
USCJ gonna have to catch him on the back end or something when he hop on Jay channel or something.
Yeah, we gonna have to catch him on the back end, man. Hopefully, they can get an understanding like Jay said, understanding, right? So with that said, man, we're gonna go ahead and close it on out. Before we get out of here, Uncle Boom, you got any channel or social media you want to shout out real quick?
Nah, I'm a Uncle Boom 44 on Twitter. If you guys are homeowners, holla at me. I do solar, so I do solar all over California. So if you're a homeowner, holla at me.
All right, Carter Sports, go ahead, shout out your channel, my man.
That's what
Fight
it is.
on that. He said he's trying to jam their reception.
That's what it is. Carter Sports.
Hold on, Jay back, man. We wasn't gonna close it out.
Hey, my bad, fellas. Hey, I'm in a bad area, man. I'm in a bad area, but I wanted to say peace out to you guys, man. But salute to everybody. And look, tell J Dub, it's all love. But at the end of the day, if you gonna make a comment, bro, stand on business, man. It's okay to agree to disagree, but come on and talk about it, man. Let's have a dialogue. But you can't do it. You hide behind that camera, man. Let's talk about it. So tap in, man. I'm out of here, man. I appreciate you, brothers.
Appreciate you, Jay.
All right.
Man, I be telling y'all we need a versus. I'm telling y'all.
hey, Jay pops up. Go ahead, Carter. Shout your channel out real quick, man, before we get up out of here.
Yeah, it's Carter Sports and TV, and I got the Trojan Gang of Don't Bang. You feel me? Tap in and subscribe.
As always, man, my running mate. Shout out to Leon again. Shout out to our listeners, man, that showed up. Everybody that showed up for the first time, we appreciate it again, my man. Go ahead and hit that.
B. Jones. Don't forget B. Jones. Stop by. Like the torch. Make sure y'all check him out.
Guns. Shout out to Young Tiny. He's always showing love. Byron, always stopping by. Tobiah, I don't know what happened to Tobiah today. Of course, J-Rod. Everybody that I hope I'm not leaving out anybody, but everybody
Fight
showed
on
up.
Natty's,
Fight on Natty. Yeah.
And J Dub, man. J Dub is faithful to the channel. He's faithful to everybody's platform. J Dub. So J Dub, don't let that stop you from coming. Don't let that stop you from coming back, man.
Yeah.
J Dub's cool.
Hey, Chris.
Like
Chris, go ahead and close us out, man.
All right. Well, man, we'll be back next week with some different topics, man. We appreciate everybody stopping by. Again, make sure you check out, Carter's page, Leon's page. I can't think of the name off the top of his head. What's the name of Leon's page? He said it. I can't think of it off the top of his head.
It's tough something. Like
make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out Like the Torch. Came through that, appreciate it. Check out USCJ channel, appreciate it. You gotta make sure you go add on Instagram USC Priority, man. Post a lot of USC stuff as well, man. Appreciate you stopping by USC Priority. And man, until later on, as always, we'll be back next week with some different topics, man. We appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and keep following us. Hit that bell so you can get the notifications, man. And as always,
fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.